Sage kicked a pebble down Maple Street, watching it skip across the sidewalk. The morning sun painted golden stripes between the buildings, and the smell of fresh bread drifted from the corner bakery. Everything seemed perfect until crash! A garbage truck had knocked over 3 trash cans right in front of Mrs. Chen's flower shop. Bags split open, spilling banana peels, crumpled papers, and empty cans across the street. "Oh, no!" Mrs. Chen rushed outside, her hands flying to her cheeks. "My customers will be here any minute." Without thinking twice, the young helper grabbed a broom from beside the shop door. "I'll help clean up." Marcus, the sanitation worker, jumped down from his truck with a grateful smile. "Thanks, kiddo. Sometimes these old trucks get away from me." Together they swept and scooped, while Mrs. Chen held open fresh garbage bags. "You know," Marcus said, tossing the last can lid into his truck, "most folks just walk on by when accidents happen. Not many stop to help." The flower shop owner beamed. "Let me give you both some flowers for being so wonderful." She handed them each a bright yellow sunflower. Walking toward school with the cheerful flower, a strange sound caught the child's attention, a soft whimpering coming from the park. There, under the big oak tree, sat Tommy from 2nd grade with tears streaming down his face. "My knee!" Tommy pointed to a scraped knee, red and stinging. "I fell off my bike." "Stay right here." The helper spotted a familiar blue uniform across the park. "Officer Kim, we need help." Officer Kim jogged over, her first aid kit jingling on her belt. "Let's take a look at that knee, brave guy." She cleaned the scrape gently and put on a bandage with race cars on it. "There we go. Good as new." Tommy's tears stopped. "Thank you, Officer Kim, and thank you for getting her," he said, giving his classmate a wobbly smile. "That's what neighbors do," Officer Kim said, helping Tommy stand up. "We look out for each other. Hey, is that your bike over there?" The front wheel was bent completely sideways. Tommy's face fell again. "Don't worry," Officer Kim said. "I know just the person who can fix this. Mr. Rodriguez at the bike shop can work magic with bent wheels." At the bike shop, Mr. Rodriguez examined the damage with expert eyes. His hands, marked with years of grease and hard work, moved confidently as he removed the wheel. "This'll take me about an hour," he said. "But I have other customers waiting, and I can help." The eager assistant looked around the shop filled with shiny bikes and mysterious tools. "Just tell me what to do." Mr. Rodriguez's weathered face crinkled into a smile. "You know what? I could use an extra pair of hands. Hold this while I straighten the rim." Together they worked, the shop filled with the pleasant sounds of clinking tools and spinning wheels. Other customers came in, and the young apprentice helped them find helmets and pump up tires while Mr. Rodriguez fixed Tommy's bike. "You're a natural," Mr. Rodriguez said, wiping his hands on the red rag. "Maybe you'll run a bike shop yourself someday." When Tommy saw his repaired bike, his whole face lit up like a Christmas tree. "It's perfect! Thank you so much!" The lunch bell was already ringing by the time the helper arrived at school. In the cafeteria, chaos had erupted. The freezer had broken overnight, and all the ice cream for dessert had melted into vanilla soup. 400 ice cream cups ruined? Miss Patricia, the head lunch lady, shook her head sadly. "The kids will be so disappointed." "Wait," an idea sparked. "What if we make something else? Do you have graham crackers? And fruit?" Miss Patricia's eyes widened. "You're brilliant. We have plenty of both in the pantry." They raced to the kitchen. While Miss Patricia and her team crushed graham crackers, their young assistant arranged fresh strawberries and blueberries on plates. Together they created colorful fruit parfaits layered with vanilla pudding and cookie crumbs. "These look even better than ice cream!" Miss Patricia high-fived her helper. "You saved dessert day!" When the other kids saw the special parfaits, they cheered. Everyone agreed it was the best dessert the cafeteria had ever served. After school, the adventure continued. Sage headed to the library to work on a report about butterflies. But inside, Miss Washington stood on a ladder trying to catch something with a net. "Shoo! Shoo!" she called out as a confused pigeon flapped around the ceiling, having flown in through an open window. "I'll help." The bird circled overhead while they worked together, Miss Washington on the ladder and her assistant below, gently guiding the pigeon toward the open window. Other library visitors watched nervously, clutching their books. "Easy does it," Miss Washington said quietly. "We don't want to scare him." Finally, with one last gentle wave of the net, the pigeon spotted the window and sailed out into the afternoon sky. The library erupted in quiet applause. Library applause, which meant everyone smiled and waved their hands silently. "Thank you so much." Miss Washington climbed down, adjusting her glasses. "That bird was making everyone nervous. You're quite the problem solver." "Just happy to help," came the proud reply. On the way home, smoke poured from the hood of a red car, stopped at the corner of Oak and Main. A worried-looking man stood beside it, phone in hand. "My phone's dead and my car won't start," he said to no one in particular. "There's a phone in the fire station." The helpful youngster pointed down the block. "Come on." At the fire station, Captain Torres welcomed him in. "Car trouble? Let me grab my tools. We firefighters know a thing or two about engines." While Captain Torres worked under the hood, his young assistant held the flashlight steady. The other firefighters gathered around, offering advice and telling jokes to keep the car owner's spirits up. "Try it now," Captain Torres called out. The engine roared to life, and everyone cheered. The grateful driver shook hands all around. "I don't know what I would have done without all of you. Thank you." "That's what we're here for," Captain Torres said, then turned to the helper with a wink. "And thank you for bringing him to us. Quick thinking." The sun hung low in the sky as the journey home continued. But the day's adventures weren't quite over. Near the community center, Mrs. Baker struggled with 2 heavy boxes of supplies for the senior citizens' craft night. "Let me carry one." The eager helper grabbed the lighter box, and together they walked into the center. "Bless your heart," Mrs. Baker said, setting down her box with a grateful sigh. "These old arms aren't what they used to be." Inside, 20 seniors worked on painting birdhouses. Mr. Frank, who used to be a carpenter, showed everyone how to sand the edges smooth. Mrs. Elena, a retired art teacher, helped mix the perfect shades of paint. "Would you like to paint one, too?" Mrs. Elena asked, holding out a brush. For the next hour, stories flowed as freely as the paint. Mr. Frank told about building houses all over the city. Mrs. Elena shared tales of teaching thousands of children to love art. Each person in the room had spent their life helping others, and now they gathered here, still creating and sharing. "You remind me of myself at your age," Mr. Frank said, admiring the carefully painted birdhouse. "Always jumping in to help. That's a special quality. Don't ever lose it." Walking home in the twilight, Sage reflected on the incredible day. The flower from Mrs. Chen still bloomed bright in one hand, while the other carried the painted birdhouse, a gift from the seniors. At dinner that night, the whole family listened to the day's adventures with wide eyes. "Sounds like you met every community helper in town," Dad said, passing the green beans. "And you helped every one of them," Mom added proudly. "That's pretty amazing." "They helped me too, though." The young voice grew thoughtful. "Marcus showed me how to use the big broom. Officer Kim taught me basic first aid. Mr. Rodriguez let me use real tools. Miss Patricia shared her secret pudding recipe. Miss Washington showed me how to guide scared animals gently. Captain Torres explained how engines work, and the seniors at the center told the best stories." "That's how communities work," Mom said. "Everyone helps everyone." That night, lying in bed, the ceiling seemed to glow with all the smiling faces from the day. Each person had a job to do, keeping the streets clean, keeping people safe, fixing things, feeding hungry kids, sharing books and knowledge, fighting fires, caring for elders. But they all did something more than just their jobs. They taught, they smiled, they shared, and they cared. Thank you, came the whisper into the darkness, to Marcus, to Officer Kim, to Mr. Rodriguez, to Miss Patricia, to Miss Washington, to Captain Torres, to Mrs. Baker, to all the seniors, to everyone who made the community a wonderful place to live. The next morning brought a surprise. Sage woke to find the painted birdhouse hanging outside the bedroom window, already home to a family of chickadees. Their cheerful chirping seemed to say thank you too, thank you for helping, thank you for caring, thank you for being parts of the community. Watching the birds flutter and sing, a warm feeling spread through the young heart. Being grateful wasn't just about saying thank you. It was about seeing how everyone's job mattered, how every person contributed something special. It was about recognizing that the garbage collector was just as important as the police officer, that the lunch lady worked just as hard as the firefighter, that the librarian helped people just like the bike shop owner did. From that day forward, every morning started the same way. First, a look out the window to check on the Chickadee family. Then a moment to think of all the community helpers already at work. Bakers baking, drivers driving, teachers preparing lessons, nurses caring for patients, mail carriers sorting letters, and so many more. Each one deserving of gratitude. Each one making life better for everyone else. And whenever someone needed help, whenever there was a chance to make someone's day easier or brighter, the answer was always yes. Because that's what grateful people do. They give back, they help out, they pass on the kindness they've received. The chickadees sang louder as if they understood, and maybe they did. After all, they too were part of the community now, bringing joy with their songs, eating insects that might harm the garden, adding beauty to the neighborhood. Even the smallest community members had important jobs to do, and everyone, absolutely everyone, deserved a thank you.